Welcome back in. It's from the Bleachers, Fox Sports Southern Utah. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
So, Mark, there have been some changes in the NFL.
I've been hearing things.
So, the biggest change comes to overtimes, specifically in the playoffs, though. Basically, here's the lowdown. Here's what's going on.
And let's give a big shout out to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Honestly, yes.
Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. This is why this has been changed.
This is exactly why this rule exists. Basically, they're saying both teams get a chance to have possession of the ball. You get one per team gets a possession, 2 full possessions of the ball. After each team, if it's tied after both teams have possession of it, then it's next team that scores wins the game. Now, if there is a safety on the kickoff, then the team that gets the safety obviously wins the game.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Now, do you think that the playoff overtime rules that they just created shouldn't just be playoff, but just all year long overtime rules?
You know, I do. I know I'm going against Colin Cowherd. He loves the system the way it is right now. And I don't have a big issue with the way the overtime rules are right now, just because I really remember when it was sudden death, where the first team that scores wins. Like, it could be just a field goal. So really, whoever won the coin toss was going to win the game 99.9% of the time.
You basically had to get 40 yards down the field.
Exactly
in the field goal
right.
range. And that wasn't that too hard to do.
So certainly they're moving in the right direction as far as giving both teams a chance with the ball. So I like where they're going. I would like it to really advance, take these new playoff rules and put it into regular season as well. Again, you give Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or some of these great quarterbacks the ball, and they're going to go down and score a touchdown. The game's going to be over. So I do like the opportunity for the other team to at least get a chance to tie it back up to, and then you can go to the next team scores, which will probably still be the team that had the ball first, but there's a chance the defense can step up, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I wish both teams would get a possession.
I also agree with that. I think that both teams in the playoffs, obviously, because you can't end in a tie in the playoffs. There's no possible way to end in a tie because one team has to move on to the next game. So I understand why they put this in as playoff rules. Now, in my opinion, I think it needs to be more than playoff rules. I think this needs to just be all season long because, whether we like it or not, I do think the current system is still slightly unfair. If you win the coin toss, you have a way higher chance of winning the game. We could look at the stats of that. We could pull up all the times that a coin toss was won and see who won those games. I just think that we need to look into this a little bit more and say maybe this isn't just a playoff rule. Let's make it a full season rule.
And I believe I heard these stats correctly this morning as I was listening to, it was either Dan Patrick or Colin Cowherd. They had a guest on. It was Mike Pereira of the NFL, who's now over the USFL rules and officials. So anyway, they were talking to Mike Pereira. Those of you that watch the NFL certainly know that name. But they were talking to him, and the reason why they changed it was they took the data over, I don't know if it was 10 years or whatever, or maybe since they changed it from sudden death to the way the format is now. Anyways, there was, I think it was 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, the team that got the ball first went down and scored a touchdown and won the game. So they took that data and they said, yeah, we need to change that a little bit. And that's why they did that, because the numbers really swayed for the coin toss. And that's what it's all about, is the coin toss. And they don't want the coin toss to decide games.
Well, then that just makes the coin toss hold so much weight.
So much, yes.
And you don't want that. You don't want everyone in the crowd to be sitting there when overtime hits being like, all right, coin toss time, let's see who's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Because that's not sports.
And
that's not, the competition is up to how does the coin fly?
And that's the thing too, is I mean, you know, especially for the playoffs, I like that they're going to try it out for the playoffs. So I do like that.
Yeah.
I do hope that it advances the following year and gets put in regular season. However, you know, you're in the playoffs now with good quarterbacks. Now you're not playing with, you know, the Tuas and sorry, Tua.
I'll tell him you said
just
that.
some of the quarterbacks that aren't as good. You know, you make the playoffs, you're a pretty good quarterback. You got to have a pretty good quarterback. So when you get that coin toss, you win it more times than not. Well, the data shows 8 times out of 10, you're going down and you're scoring a touchdown. So that's why they're doing it. Even if Patrick Mahomes goes down, scores a touchdown, which he did, Josh Allen's going to get his shot too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that they definitely need to I think that they need to monitor how the playoffs go with it in place. And I hope there's some overtimes in the playoffs so we can at least try it out.
Yes.
Because it's possible there won't be. And you never know.
But and that brings another factor, too. So once the second team possesses, let's just use the Chiefs and Bills as the example.
Sure.
Okay. So Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs win the coin toss.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes takes his team down. They score a touchdown. They kick an extra point. They're up 7 points. Game's over. Now, with the new format, they do the same thing. Now Josh Allen's is going to get a shot. Let's just say the Bills go down. They score a touchdown. Now, knowing that whoever scores the net, you know, whoever, once they kick off, whoever scores next is going to be the winner, that puts pressure on the Bills coaching staff.
Let's
we go for two. Exactly. So I think that's going to decide a lot of games just right there.
I think it very well could. But that makes it just that much more exciting.
Exactly. That's why I like it. That's why I like it.
Now all of a sudden team number 2 scores a touchdown and you're like, okay, we're in business.
The Bills coaching staff and Josh Allen's like, hey, we don't want to give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He's going to go down and score, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, and we're going to lose the game.
Now, we've already seen this in overtime play when, let's say, a team goes down and they score a field goal. Well, second team in the previous rules, they at least got another chance because it wasn't a touchdown, right? So team number 2 now goes and they get within field goal range. But guess what? It's 4th and 3. Do you go for that field goal? Or do you try to get a first down and push in for a touchdown and just let the game be over? Maybe it's a fourth and goal situation. What do you do? Right? I mean, so we're almost into those situations with this new rule change, but this time it's we're looking at 2-point conversions. You are looking at field goals to an extent, but let's say, hey, team number 1 scored a touchdown. You can't settle for that field goal. If it's 4th and goal and you're on the 5-yard line, you got to punch it in.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
I think with this new format, it's going to come up with a lot of interesting decisions that way, and that's why I hope that they extend it to the regular season because, again, you're not going to want to give the ball back to the team who just scored a touchdown, prior to you having the ball, and then you go down and score a touchdown. You don't want to give the ball back to that quarterback.
Not at all.
So I really think it's going to decide games right then and there. Like they're either going to make the 2-point conversion or they're not going to make the 2-point conversion. Either way, game's over.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I like it a lot.